Hey guys, welcome to another Tyler Walsh concept video. As you can probably tell, this is a slightly different layout than what we normally have been doing. This is going to be the start of another chapter, another type of video that I would like to start getting into. In this particular video, we're going to be covering Alpinestars driving gloves, both karting specific gloves and fire resistant Nomex gloves as well. What we have laid out here in front of the table is probably 3 or 4 years worth of gloves that I've acquired, both for karts and race cars. And I just want to highlight some of the major differences, the cost for each, the value, what I suggest and recommend. And this is, again, just going to be covering Alpinestars gloves specifically today. We'll get into some other brands here possibly later on. But I'd just like to highlight some of the differences in the Alpinestars line. And again, I'm not affiliated with Alpinestars or any other driving gear manufacturer at this time. My review is going to be 100% unbiased towards anything. This is how I see things currently. One of the main driving factors for me doing this review is it's common perception that the more you spend on driving gear, the better it is, or the more suited towards whatever you're looking to do it will be. That is absolutely not the case, and that's not what I've found in the last 7 years of racing. A lot of people, again, even in karts, will opt towards Nomex gear just because of the price tag, I would assume. Guys running around with Nomex suits, Nomex gloves, shoes. It's just ridiculous. A Nomex glove is always 100% of the time going to be hotter, it's going to be thicker, and it's going to have less abrasion resistance should you be ejected from your kart or have an accident. So let's jump right into this. Let's just look at the karting lineup first. What we've got going on here. To start, I'd just like to cover these gloves right here. These are the Tech 1K karts. I bought these a few years ago, probably 3 years ago, for $69.95 at the time. Now that is a lot, and you'll see here in a second, but I honestly don't particularly think these gloves are worth it. They're fine quality. They seem to hold up to the abuse. I'd say these probably have between 10 hours of use, we'll say. We'll cover that in a bit. So to start out with, obviously you can see extended cuff, just like most driving gloves. There's an adjustable wrist adjustment here, soft padding on top. There's no padding in the fingers, and that is something I do like or prefer. And these are predominantly, the seams are predominantly on the inside. You can see there is stitching exposed here and on the fingers. Everywhere else on the glove is on the inside, which is kind of a unique thing. Honestly, I don't care really either way if the seams are exposed or if they're inside. I think for minute adjustments, like adjusting the jets on a single speed kart or whatever, inseam gloves are probably not a bad thing. What I have noticed with seams, even like on this one with your pointer finger, is you're going to lose some feel with the seam exposed like this. As far as durability on these Tech 1K gloves, again, they've got about 10 hours of use on them. There's a couple major tears starting to show up. First is between the stitching between this padding and the actual glove itself. It is double stitched, however, you can see. Hopefully we'll be able to get some macro shot, but it is starting to break apart. These do appear to be 2-layer gloves of cotton. There's an outer and an inner layer, as well as padding, obviously. And the other complaint I have is, well, first, everything is double stitched. I just like to lay that out, except the fingers. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see this, but the fingers are single. All this padding and grip material is double stitched onto the glove itself, which is good. But you can see the gripping material itself is just laminated possibly onto the suede palm area, and it is completely destroyed. I've noticed this in a lot of materials, but it seems to be dry. It feels like a plastic right now. It does not grip a suede steering wheel at all. In fact, the suede underneath has way more grip now than the adhesive that they put on. So that's one major complaint, and something we'll get on with another pair of gloves. But I absolutely despise this grip material. Obviously does not prove to last, and let alone grip after you've got a few days on them. Anyway, moving on. Right here we've got the Tech 1 KV gloves. These are $79.95 retail. They're the step above the Tech 1 Ks, which we just reviewed. The biggest difference with these is obviously you can see there's a polymer motorcycle style knuckle protection, I guess you could say. That's cool and all. However, the sizing is exactly the same as this, the Tech 1 Ks. So you put this giant piece of plastic on the top, and they didn't adjust any of the dimensions on the glove to make it fit. They just kind of slapped it on. They're not terribly uncomfortable. They just fit a little tighter than the Tech 1 Ks, again, just with the soft padding on top. I don't find this to be completely necessary in a kart. Some people do prefer it. I have heard people talk about just buying gloves solely for this feature. It's well done, double stitched. I haven't had any issues with this polymer portion, rubbing on anything. Like if you're trying again in a kart to try to reach the high speed, low speed jets, it doesn't seem to get in the way. I just don't find it completely necessary. Just adds cost, complexity, and whatnot to the system. One other thing I will say about these Tech 1 KV gloves is the side of the fingers. It's some sort of a nylon, which is very nice. It's very thin, very light, and it is stretchy. So the fingers they're tight on your fingers, but they're not tight where they're going to cut off circulation. You can see this portion here stretching, and also there's a lot of air that gets in through there, which I do like. These gloves have a full season of karting on them, and as you can see, the grip texture on the palm is the same as the Tech 1 Ks. These do seem to be holding up a little better, but again, being that these are about 2 years old now, it's hard and not very grippy, as well as coming off. I think the suede underneath is just as grippy as the grip material that they put on. Again, very high quality gloves though. Everything is double stitched. There's a tear right here in the ring finger on my right hand. That was actually from a burn, so I don't attribute that to poor quality or anything like that on Alpinestars' behalf. Good gloves. Again, these are $79.95 retail. They're fine. I wouldn't buy another set. If I was in the market for karting gloves, I'm going to show you right now, I'd go for the Tech 1 KR. These retail for $49.95. They can be had for much less. On this set of gloves right here, I've got well over 30, probably closer to 35 hours of use. You can see on my right hand here that the grip adhesive is torn off on the palm area, which is fine because there's still suede underneath. It still provides adequate amount of grip. Again, everything is double stitched, but you can see the suede area is one piece, where like if you look at the Tech 1 KVs, there's multiple stitching lines here. You're able to feel that in your palm, and that just adds complexity. Again, it takes away from the feel. On these, it's all just one piece. You can see exposed stitching, outer stitching on the fingers. Everything is double stitched. This grip material, though, is some sort of a silicone adhesive, I would imagine. Extremely grippy. Again, these have close to 40 hours, 35 hours of use on them, and they are absolutely superb gloves. There's no reason for me to get another pair. I did get these because they were on sale for like 30 bucks. Again, just a newer set, and I also picked up these yellow ones, which are now discontinued. I think they're pretty cool. I'm saving these for a special occasion. But again, absolutely superb karting gloves. They're the cheapest of the bunch. Alpinestars most affordable. glove, extremely high value, extremely comfortable. There is a little bit of soft padding on the knuckle area, which is good if you're concerned about that again. Simple design, very cool. They come in black, obviously, white. They used to come in yellow. Again, that's been discontinued. They come in blue. They come in red. Maybe a few other colors. We're not going to focus on that right now, though. Again, super high value glove, super comfortable, super grippy, extremely durable. This is my preferred karting glove, absolutely bar none. As you can see, I've got 3 sets of them. This is the only karting glove I recommend to anybody. Extremely good product. Well done, Alpinestars, for that. Alright guys, just to finish up this video, I'd just like to cover a few of Alpinestars' offerings in their Nomex or car-specific line of driving gloves. Starting with the Tech 1 race gloves. This is an older version. For 2012, there's a newer design that's out. I'll show you guys that here in a second. But this is, again, one of my preferred versions, similar to the karting version, the Tech 1 KR. You can see some design similarities, obviously. Obviously, one is Nomex SFI 3.3-5 certified, and the other is just a karting glove, obviously. As we talked about in the beginning of this video, it's absolutely ridiculous to go and spend pretty much $100 on these and use them just for a karting roll. They're thicker, they're hotter. You know, you don't get the feel you do in the fingers if you're fumbling for jets or pulling on a shift lever, anything like that. There's absolutely no reason to use Nomex gloves in the karting scene, period. I just want to stress that point here. But obviously you can see some design similarities between the Tech 1 KR karting glove and the Tech 1 race glove. It's the exact same silicone adhesive they use for the grip, except these gloves are 100% covered up stitches. They don't have exposed stitches on the fingers or the palm or anything like that. And honestly, that's not a huge deal for me. I haven't found it to be an issue if you're, you know, fiddling with your data or talking on the radio, adjusting your roll bars or brake bias, whatever. I don't feel like you lose any fine motor skills with a stitch that's obviously on the inside opposed to an exposed stitch. These gloves are extremely light. They're even lighter than the karting variants. They're just a lot thicker and they are hotter. But again, extremely durable. I haven't found that to be an issue. I'm just going to pull out my first pair of these gloves. These used to be white. They got a little dirty, and I decided to use a product called RIT dye, R-I-T dye. I wanted to turn them yellow, obviously similar to my karting gloves. It didn't really work. It didn't take the dye completely on the outside. The inside is a beautiful, vibrant yellow, so that was successful. However, they look pretty disgusting as it stands. The good thing with dye is you can go from light to dark. You just can't go dark to light, obviously. So I'll be able to turn these maybe a dark shade of blue or something like that. Some custom, obviously. I'll keep you guys up to date on that. But focusing on these right here, these were purchased in late 2010. Yeah, that's right, 2010. They've held up extremely well. No, you know, they've got 6 weekends on them. No loose stitching or anything like that. They fit exactly the same as the karting gloves, so just get your size, and they should transfer right over. These gloves are new for 2012. They're the same. They're called the Tech 1 race gloves, but you can see that there's a pretty substantial difference in their palm grip. This is a solid silicone, you know, patch, I guess, and there are lines in this. They seem to be the same grip levels, I guess. They fit the exact same. There's just some slight differences, and you can see maybe some double stitching on these gloves here that is not present in the first generation Tech 1 race glove. Anyway, not a big deal. I'll keep you guys posted on how these perform. I think they look very cool. Again, the stitching is all on the inside of the fingers, and there's no, again, wrist adjustment like you find on some of the other karting variants, or some of Alpinestars' other Nomex gloves, like the Tech 1 ZX. The ZX retails for $150. Again, you can probably find that cheaper, but it does have exposed stitching. So if that's a big deal to you, you can jump on the ZX. There's different styling. It's got the latest ZX variant does have silicone grip materials on the palm. So there's not a whole lot of difference there. It's mainly just stitching and looks, to be completely honest. I have used exposed stitching gloves in the past. I've got 2 pairs currently that I run, one being Oakley, one being Sparco. They're fine. I honestly don't justify the cost for an exposed stitch glove compared to something like this. Again, this retails for $99. You can probably find it cheaper at wherever you're buying, online stores. I just think there's a lot of value in that, especially in a karting version. Tech 1 KR gloves, like this right here. I mean, these can be had for $30, $35, $40 shipped to your door. I mean, that's a serious value, opposed to something like this. Again, that retails for, just checking my notes here, close to $80. Something that's less durable, less comfortable. I don't know. But I do think Alpinestars really has a competitive product in the glove compartment, both in the karting divisions and Nomex. So definitely something to check out, guys. Food for thought. And again, I'd like to do more of these product review videos. I want to cover, hopefully this week, my preferred brand of helmet, and just compare that to a few other brands, and try to give you guys some insight, or at least help share some knowledge. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. Please rate, subscribe, like the videos, and feel free to ask questions. I'm always looking to help you guys, and as always, we'll see you next time.